It's not going to have this fairy tale ending that many New England Patriots fans and a lot of people in that organization thought. This has nothing to do with no burying the hatchet. This has to do with two men that are very prideful, that have enormous egos, that both think I'm the reason of this for this success. That's what this is about. We've debated this, Skip, since we started this show 10 times.
We have.
It's debated across barbershops and beauty shops and every pool halls across America.
Yep.
Who's most responsible for the greatest run in NFL history? Is it Coach Belichick? Is it Tom Brady? And these men have huge egos. Tom Brady believes he's most responsible because he points back to Coach Belichick. You had 5 years without me winning Cleveland, and you didn't win jack.
You had one in New England without him.
And then Coach Belichick said, hold on, I put this together. I brought everybody here. I'm doing all the cooking. I'm doing all the shopping. I'm most responsible. And Coach Belichick tried to get his wish till Mr. Kraft put the kibosh on him.
He did.
He said, you will trade him. Because I believe that win, lose, or draw, this past Super Bowl, Coach Belichick was willing to go in this alone without Tom Brady. Yep. And he doesn't have to win 3. He doesn't have to win 4. He just has to win 1 Super Bowl without 12 under center.
Yep.
And then there can be no doubt. Yep. But Tom Brady said, well, hold on, wait a minute. Hey, Josh, let me talk to you for a second. I know you had a verbal agreement about going to Indy, but won't you just stick around because I got a feeling that something's going to work out in our favor. Tom Brady wins 1 Super Bowl without Coach Belichick. There's no doubt in anybody's mind. So this is about. Skip, this is not about no friendship. Coach Belichick has never gone to dinner, never played golf, never been over to Brady's house. This has nothing to do with that.
Yep.
Because most quarterbacks and head coaches aren't very close. Joe and Bill Walsh didn't have the greatest relationship. Terry Bradshaw and Chuck Noll. There are a lot of quarterbacks that aren't close to their head coaches. So this has nothing to do with about that. This has everything to do with credit. Who gets the most credit for these 5 Super Bowls?
Agreed.
And that's what the tug of war is about.
Okay, so how does it play out in your humble estimation?
I believe Coach Belichick goes away after this year. I believe Tom Brady's going to try to play 20 years. One team, nobody's going to touch that, win a Super Bowl. That's what I believe.
Okay. So obviously we're talking about the greatest quarterback-coach combination in NFL history, and it ain't even close, right?
I agree.
This reminds me a little bit of what I went through back in the 90s in Dallas between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. And remember, they won back-to-back Super Bowls, and Jerry fired Jimmy because he just couldn't take him anymore. And his point was, I'm the boss. You're not the boss. And there was a credit wrestling match going on. And in the end, the owner said, I'm the owner, and you're gone. And he made the statement to the media, I can find 100 coaches to replace this guy. And he picked number 101, Barry Switzer, who'd never coached in the NFL, one down and been out of coaching for like 3 years. Okay. The difference in that clash was that Jerry was the owner. This one has a referee. And the reason it's lasted this long, there's a referee named Robert Kraft who is the owner. So he can peacemake in the off season as best he can, or maybe even during the season for all I know. So if I am Robert Kraft, after what I have observed happened this last year, when I mandated you will trade at the deadline Jimmy Garoppolo, and clearly Bill Belichick didn't like it, and I thought it was at least sabotagey that he gave him away to an organization he likes, a young coach in Kyle Shanahan, just gave him away for a second-round pick. Yeah, we'll do that.
And he gave his third string quarterback away for a busted rookie. Wide receiver, excuse me.
And then it felt a little more sabotagey that in the Super Bowl game, he chooses not to play Malcolm Butler a single down of the whole Super Bowl, and you give up 41 points to the backup quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, while meanwhile, your quarterback is throwing for the most yards in any playoff game in history. Any playoff, not Super Bowls, in any playoff game ever. And he's putting up, what was it, 33 points. The most ever a loser had ever scored in the Super Bowl, but he lost. So if I'm Robert Kraft, I will try to sit these two down in the Bahamas or wherever, some neutral site where you get them away and get them in a quiet setting, peaceful setting. And I'm going to closely observe how Belichick reacts to Brady. And if I don't like what I'm hearing, because he is a proud warrior of a man himself, obviously, if I don't like what I'm hearing, I know what I would do. I would fire him. That's what I would do. And I know you say that's insane, but I don't think it's going to work going forward, and I would not love what that man had done to my franchise in the Garoppolo trade and with Malcolm Butler. They're so out of bounds. They're so rebellious to me. He's rebelling against the mandate. And that's what I would do. Now, again, can you replace Bill? No, you can't. But I'm going to pick the quarterback over the coach because I think the quarterback has at least 3 more MVP caliber seasons left in that body of his. So that's what I would.
But how many times have we seen this story play out?
All right.
Right? And so you said the referee, Kraft. So let's take the referee.
All right.
What do you think the referee is saying that he said every offseason that there's turmoil? Sit down.
Okay.
Winning cures all things. All things.
Yeah, obviously, if they'd won the game.
If they win this game, Malcolm Butler's never brought up. No. He's never brought up, right? And so now you think about when they're going through what they're going through, right? Everybody got these emotions. Come on now, you know Brady's emotional. Belichick is emotional. These guys are emotional. But when they sit down in that room, when they get to the end and said, will we be hosting the AFC Championship again? Will we be back in another Super Bowl? Because if I get back there, all things go away. So everything we're talking about, every time New England has been in a certain situation, I want you to think about what the offseason went by. Brady was suspended 4 games. Brady comes back after those 4 games. Nobody mentions it ever again. Business back to usual, right? Gronk is going to retire. If Gronk is going to be around. And if all of these pieces come back together at the end of this year, and New England goes back to another Super Bowl, then who's having the conversation?
I agree, but are you sure that's going to happen?
Sure, but here's the problem. This isn't about winning. For 18 years, Coach Belichick has had carte blanche service. He's never been told no by the owner.
Neither has Brady since he's been started.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know this. You go through this. You sign autographs. You can sign 1 million autographs. The 1 millionth and one you don't sign,
You're a bad person. Yeah.
So the one time Mr. Kraft told him no, he blew it.
He blew it.
So this, first of all, Skip, you might as well go ahead and fire him because I can assure you, if Mr. Kraft asked Coach Belichick to go meet him somewhere in the Bahamas with Tom Brady, he ain't going.
He ain't doing it.
You already know. Skip, I feel comfortable in saying I don't really know how Coach Belichick and Mr. Kraft is because they're diametrically opposites.
Totally agree.
Totally opposites.
In the history of Bill Belichick's coaching career, have you ever seen so many players publicly rebel against him? Now, there's never been social media like today, but how many rushed to the defense on social media of Malcolm Butler?
Yeah, Malcolm Butler, you're right.
A bunch of them, including the quarterback.
100%. 100%. But the formula that you guys keep saying, what's the only thing that keeps these opposite mentalities together? Winning.
It does.
Winning. It's the only thing in New England that gives them that pass that says Belichick can come up there and say, how do you guys play today? Oh, we played all right. Why? Because winning is the only thing the only thing that will keep this trio, I'm telling you, from not ending so bad. Because Brady is only playing for one reason. Brady's only playing for rings.
Only.
Yeah. Only
he don't want to put his body through that for anything
else. Belichick is still standing beside Brady, which we all agree, right? To go down as the greatest tandem coach ever of all time. Skip, I promise you, if they go win 2 more, we may be the only ones talking about this.
No,
because they will not.
Because here's the thing, though. The debate is still, if they win 2 more, who's most responsible for this? We got to give somebody some credit. Who we giving the credit to?
Both. You got to give it to both. They're two totally different things, right? A head coach, a quarterback. I've always said
that's what you and I would do,
right?
But that's not how they're thinking. Ray.
They want the credit.
Yeah. I know it's your restaurant, but you ain't cooking nothing.
Who's going to have to swallow the most pride this offseason?
Both.
The coach.
You think so?
Coach.
Well, Coach Belichick has already had to swallow pride because he had to trade his prized possession. Remember, people have said Tom Brady had yearned for the relationship that Coach Belichick and Jimmy G had. You remember, the only time they were ever together really in a public setting, they were paired together at the Pro-Am at Pebble. They don't go to dinner, which is not uncommon.
Right, no.
Coach Belichick understood, and most great coaches understand, you can't get too close to the players because there will come a time that you got to take the emotion out of it, and you got to say bye-bye.
I respect that.
So that's what Coach Belichick has always done. Yeah. He's had to say bye to Seymour and Willie McGinnis and Ty Law, all these guys, Skip. And even though you won me 5, I'll say bye-bye to you.
That's correct, because is he FaceTiming with Bill Belichick?
No.
Nope. Is he FaceTiming with Tommy?
Yeah. Now, ED broke that story that they were in Israel, and Tom Brady FaceTimed Mr. Kraft. Yeah. Then Mr. Kraft, oh yeah, I was at West Palm, and Tommy, he FaceTimed me, and I jumped
in the restaurant.
He didn't even finish his meal.
He didn't finish his
wheels up.
So who has a greater upside to stay in New England?
Tom. Because the owner's already said, he already told Coach Belichick, you getting rid of him. So,
look, obviously, can Belichick coach longer than Tom can play?
Which is what my question is.
Yeah.
So who's has a greater upside?
If you want upside, it would be Belichick.
Oh, it would be Belichick.
Yeah. Upside where? Upside coaching or upside in New England? Because New England is Tom. Because Mr. Kraft has already made it. Skip. We saw the thing. He FaceTiming and he gave Tom's mom a big old. He said only the players and coaches got one of these.
Right.
Gave Tom Brady's mom a ring.
And call me RK.
And call him RK. No, she said Mr. Kraft. Call me. He RK. Because you know Mr. Kraft cool. He got rhinestone sneakers. He got the A1s. And he got diamonds studded. This is what this is about. This is not about like or dislike. Sure, I'm sure you've had defensive coordinators and head coaches that you didn't necessarily agree with, but you're trying to win. And there was never, because think about it, for those defenses, you got all the credit. You got all, because look at the guys that left. When they left you, how they play, how they work out for them, how Bart Scott do. Ed Reed going to the Hall of Fame. How that work out for him in Houston. Look at all the guys that left you and how it worked out for them. So you got the credit. Look how many people you got jobs. Marvin Lewis and Jack Del Rio and Rex Ryan and Mike Singletary and Mike Nolan, Smith, Smitty. So you got all the credit. So it's either for you like, yeah, cool, yeah, Ray Lou getting people jobs.
Did any of those guys go anywhere else and win a Super Bowl?
No. And look at the players that went to Pro Bowls alongside you. What happened when they left you? So you getting all, it's easy for you to say, oh man, it's winning career. Yeah, because you getting all the credit. But let somebody say, oh, look at old Marvin, and Rick Ryan was doing the thing good. But they had Ray Lewis. See what happened?
And you saying without Tom?
Without Tom. I think you just made the Tom Brady argument.
No, but Coach Belichick, and see, that's what they want to see. I want to see. Okay. If I fall, let me see.
Right.
If I fall, if I fail.
Brady and Belichick are not going to walk hand in hand into the sunset together.
And Mr. Kraft, so I look here. Save yourself some money. I know you got tons of money. Don't ask Coach Belichick to go to Bahamas. Because he ain't going. He already went. He and his wife, they had posted on Instagram.
So they're better off without each other, you're saying?
No. But I want the credit. I need that credit. You got to give me the credrit. If you say, if you saying
one of them two got time to have those egos in check. At one point or another, it's going to escape. Well, the Seahawks make major changes to their defense.